The highlights of today's defense news, 20th of June 25. Defense Ministry begins reforms in defense acquisition procedures for arms procurement. Indian Army begins raising 3rd Dhanush Regiment to boost artillery strength. Safran ties up with Hindustan Aeronautics to produce LEAP engines forged parts. Infosys-backed GalaxEye plans new satellite to meet global demand for geospatial data. India's revolutionary ET-LDHCM hypersonic missile, 3 times faster than BrahMos, features greater range and deadlier precision. India and Croatia forge comprehensive defense and strategic partnership. Wipro Infrastructure Engineering in talks to acquire majority stake in France's Lauak Group. India eyes homegrown directed energy weapons to boost anti-drone defense. In the global highlights, Spectra Group launches mobile troposcatter. And in the war zone, Israel in the Israel-Iran conflict, with $550 million at stake, India's Chabahar port gamble faces heat from escalation. And Germany, France, UK seek diplomatic solution in the conflict. A look at the news in detail. Defense Ministry is initiating reforms to the Defense Acquisition Procedure 2020 to align it with current policies and boost self-reliance in defense. A committee led by the Director General Acquisition has been set up to gather stakeholder feedback by 5th of July. Former IAS officer Apurva Chandra is appointed principal advisor. The focus of the reforms will be streamlining acquisition processes, enhancing ease of doing business and fast-track procurement, integrating new technologies like AI, clarifying and simplifying DAP language to avoid ambiguities. The strategic goals: timely modernization of armed forces, promoting Atmanirbharta through indigenously developed systems, boosting Make in India including private sector involvement, joint ventures and foreign OEMs via FDI, developing India as a global hub for defense manufacturing and MRO, supporting innovations from startups and private industry in R&D and design. Indian Army has begun the process of raising 3rd Regiment of Dhanush towed gun systems aimed at augmenting the artillery firepower capabilities. Each regiment or unit comprises of 18 gun systems. AWEIL received clearances from the Ministry of Defence for the mass production of Dhanush artillery guns in 2019. The contract is worth 1260 crore rupees. As per the schedule, the maker of Dhanush 155 mm 45 caliber Taud howitzer, the Advanced Weapons and Equipment India Limited (AWEIL) has to deliver all the gun systems by March 26. An upgraded version of Bofor's 155 mm 39 caliber gun, the Dhanush 155 mm 45 caliber Taud gun, is the first long-range artillery gun to be produced in India. It has a better rate of fire and a strike range of 36 to 38 kilometers. Costing about 14 crore rupees a piece, the Dhanush can be compared to most state-of-the-art weapon systems which a number of armies around the world are using. It can be employed in all terrains. The Dhanush Taut guns is equipped with an inertial navigation system with global positioning system based gun, recording and auto lying, an enhanced tactical computer for onboard ballistic computations and an onboard muzzle velocity recording. Hindustan Aeronautics and Safran Aircraft Engines signed an agreement on 19th of June for the industrialization and production of rotating parts for LEAP engines. According to a joint release by Safran Aircraft Engines and HAL, the agreement signed between the two companies support government's Make in India policy and additionally follows the memorandum of understanding signed by the two parties in October 23 to develop industrial cooperation in LEAP engine parts manufacturing as well as the contract signed last February by both partners to produce forged parts. Safran Aircraft Engines is developing a complete aerospace ecosystem based on the creation of new facilities in India and closer cooperation with its major Indian partners. Safran Aircraft Engines already has its presence in India, where it operates 5 production sites in Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Goa. They already have a sixth site dedicated to maintenance, repair, and overhaul of LEAP engines and will open in Hyderabad by the end of the year. Infosys-backed space technology startup GalaxEye said it will develop another imaging satellite given the growing demand for geospatial data globally for agriculture, mining, and defense. The new satellite will have a near 0.5-meter resolution for quality insights needed in critical sectors. The Bangalore-based startup said its first satellite, Mission Drishti, scheduled for launch later this year from SpaceX, has a resolution of 1.25 meters. For both the satellites, GalaxEye will be using its proprietary technology by combining synthetic aperture radar and optical multispectral imaging, aiming to provide all-weather information. The startup said the second satellite will not only deliver improved spatial resolution but also reduce revisit time to under 3 days, improving the responsiveness and utility of its constellation. To date, the startup has raised $22 million over 6 rounds, with Infosys owning a minority stake worth 17 crore dollars. The firm is currently undergoing mission concept and preliminary design reviews and is strategically positioning itself to expand into high priority international defense markets, including United States, West Asia, and Europe. India is developing the extended trajectory long duration hypersonic cruise missile ET-LDHCM under Project Vishnu. The ET-LDHCM can achieve speeds of Mach 8, approximately 11,000 km per hour, which allows it to cover 3 kilometers every second during flight. This performance is due to an advanced scramjet engine that uses atmospheric oxygen for combustion rather than onboard oxidizers. The missile has an operational range of approximately 1500 kilometers and can carry warheads weighing between 1000 and 2000 kilograms. It can deliver both conventional and nuclear warheads based on mission requirements. In comparison, the BrahMos missile operates at supersonic speeds at Mach 2.8 to 3, equivalent to approximately 3400 to 3700 kilometers per hour, while the ET-LDHCM represents nearly a threefold improvement in velocity. Its 1500 kilometer range exceeds the BrahMos system current range of 290 to 650 kilometers depending on the variant. India and Croatia have significantly elevated their bilateral relationship by agreeing to develop a long-term defense cooperation plan. The defense cooperation plan will focus on long-term collaboration, including joint training, military exchanges, and cooperation in the defense industry. This initiative aims to foster deeper military-to-military engagement and facilitate technology and knowledge sharing between the two countries. Four key agreements were signed during the visit, further enhancing cooperation in agriculture, science and technology, cultural exchange, and the establishment of a Hindi chair at the University of Zagreb. Beyond defense, the leaders agreed to accelerate cooperation in a range of sectors such as trade, renewable energy, semiconductors, pharmaceuticals, agriculture, information technology, clean and digital technology, shipbuilding, and cybersecurity. Wipro Infrastructure Engineering has announced it will acquire a majority stake in Lauak Group, a 50-year-old family-owned French aerospace manufacturer and Tier 1 supplier to global OEMs. The deal was unveiled at the Paris Air Show. Lauak Group and Wipro names could be combined to form Wipro Lauak. The deal will establish a joint board of directors with representatives from both Wipro and Lauak to oversee the company's future operations and growth. Lauak brings decades of craftsmanship and specialized expertise, complementing Wipro's focus on built-to-print components and high-performance assemblies. Lauak Group is a French aerospace manufacturer founded in 1975 by Jean-Marc Chariton under the name Escalona. It began as a supplier of sheet metal components to Dassault Aviation and has since grown into a Tier 1 supplier for major global aerospace OEMs like Airbus, Safran, and Bombardier. India plans to acquire locally made directed energy weapons to expand the Defence Forces counter unmanned aerial system. The selected tool for this effort is a 10 kilowatt system designed by DRDO and manufactured by Larsen and Toubro. The device projects electromagnetic waves to destroy UAS up to 2 kilometers away. It is an upgrade over the company's base 4 kilowatt version that had already seen action as part of a larger air defense grid to deter Pakistani drones targeting military and civilian infrastructure. A call for tenders to supply the 10 kilowatt weapon will be announced next month. The government is also open to collaborating with more industry teams to accelerate production of the capabilities mobile configuration, which can be installed on a 4x4 vehicle. In the global news, Spectra Group unveiled its troposcatter on the move TOTM system at Indo-Defence 2025, a major leap in mobile high bandwidth communications, especially for maritime and littoral operations. What makes the TOTM stand out for? Mobility plus resilience. Unlike traditional troposcatter systems that require static setups, TOTM enables ship-to-ship and ship-to-shore communications while on the move, even in GPS or satellite-denied environments. Integrated technology stack. It combines Comtech's Comet troposcatter terminal with BAT's wireless electronically steered antennas, creating a compact, fully integrated system with bandwidths up to 210 Mbps and ranges exceeding 100 kilometers. Operational flexibility. TOTM supports ISR, autonomous systems, wide area networks, and beyond line of sight communications. It's also adaptable for land vehicles in at the pause scenarios, enabling rapid deployment without antenna alignment. Strategic fit for Indo Pacific. Designed with archipelagic and coastal nation in mind, TOTM addresses the region's unique connectivity challenges, offering a secure, high throughput alternative to satellite links. Germany's top tech players Deutsche Telekom, Ionos, and the Schwarz Group IT arm are submitting separate bids to the European Union for a next generation AI data center after failing to agree on a unified proposal. The three firms, along with SAP, initially explored a joint bid for an EU backed AI gigafactory. But SAP has since exited the effort, and the remaining companies are now filing individual expressions of interest. The European Commission plans to invest $20 billion to build AI data centers across the bloc, aiming to close the infrastructure gap with the US and China. Germany is pushing to host at least one of these AI hubs, positioning itself as a leader in European AI infrastructure. Despite the split, the firms may reunite later in the selection process, depending on how the EU structures the next phase. This fragmentation reflects both the competitive stakes and the strategic importance of AI infrastructure in Europe's digital sovereignty agenda. Now, a look at the war zone. India's business and strategic interest in Iran's center primarily on Chabahar port, a critical asset operated through India's Port Global Limited. This port provides India with a strategic overland route to Afghanistan and Central Asia, circumventing Pakistan and counterbalancing China's Gwadar port influence in the region. As of May 24, India secured a 10-year contract to manage the Shahid Beheshti terminal at Chabahar, reaffirming its long-term commitment. IPGL, a joint venture between Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust and Kandla Port Trust, oversees operations in partnership with Iran's Arya Banadar. India's development contributions include an $85 million investment for berth upgrades, a $150 million Exim Bank line of credit, and a separate $400 million line of credit aimed at facilitating steel imports for the Chabahar Zahedan Railway. This railway project was initially assigned to Indian public sector firm Ircon International under a 1.6 billion MOU although funding delays prompted partial Iranian disengagement in 2020. At the diplomatic level, India and Iran have maintained regular engagement to sustain momentum. In January 25, the National Security Advisors and officials at the 19th Foreign Office consultations emphasized enhanced cooperation on the Chabahar and the international north-south transport corridor. However, geopolitical volatility poses a risk. The ongoing Israel Iran conflict and the potential for expanded US involvement could disrupt operations at Chabahar, affecting insurance, logistics, and the INSTC corridor. Western sanctions remain a persistent obstacle, complicating both port development and railway connectivity initiatives. The foreign ministers of Britain, France, and Germany are set to meet with their Iranian counterpart in Geneva as the conflict with Israel enters its second week to discuss Tehran's nuclear program and explore possible off ramps to confrontation. That's all the news for today. We hope you enjoyed the news. Please do subscribe to our channel and do give us your feedback. Thank you.